Easter is a movable feast in the church, which means that year to year it changes. So the date for Easter this year will be different from the date for Easter next year, which of course means that Lent is also changing from year to year. And there's a couple reasons for this. One, we know that Easter has to be on a Sunday, the first day of the week. All the Gospels are clear that Jesus rose from the dead on the first day of the week. We also know that Easter must fall around Passover, because the Last Supper was celebrated as the feast of the Passover. And the Passover is the first full moon after the vernal equinox. The tough word, the vernal equinox. But if you pay attention in science class, it shouldn't be too difficult. So the vernal equinox actually means the day, it refers to the day of the year in the spring in which the days and the nights are equal. So of course the Earth is tilted on its axis a little bit as it revolves around the sun. So here's the North Pole, here's the South Pole, North Pole, South Pole. And throughout the year, the Earth revolves or goes around the sun, changing the seasons. So here, the northern hemisphere is closest to the sun. So for us in the United States, it's the summer. Here, the northern hemisphere is furthest from the sun, so the southern hemisphere is summer, but for the northern hemisphere, it's winter. Here, of course, between winter and summer is spring, and between fall and winter, or between summer and winter, is fall. There's one day, or there's 2 days in the fall and in the spring in which the day and the night are equal, and that day is called the vernal or spring equinox. The first full moon after the vernal equinox is the day for Passover and the day for Easter. In the Council of Nicaea 325, the church decided that Easter would fall on the first Sunday after the first full moon after the vernal equinox. So, for simplicity's sake, rather than deciding the exact day in which there is a full moon, because a full moon is different according to where you are on the Earth, what time zone you're in, they just calculate 14 days after the new moon. So a new moon would be the moon being right here. You couldn't see the moon because the sun isn't reflecting any light off of the moon. Well, here would be the moon, and we would see maybe half the moon. So this would be a half moon because the sun is reflecting half the light on the moon. Here we would have a full moon. And this is around 14 days after that first new moon, or the dark, so we can't see the moon, is called a new moon. And this 14 days, or around 14 days after the new moon, after the vernal equinox, is the day for Easter. A little bit confusing, but if you just remember the fact that it has to be on Sunday, it has to be on Passover, and Passover is the day of the year in which there's a full moon after the vernal equinox, after the day and the night are equal. That's the day for Easter. So it has a little bit of symbolism if you think about it. This is the day in which darkness, the long nights, are turning finally into longer days. And not only that, but during the nighttime there's a full moon. And we take this for granted, some of us who live in kind of highly populated area, how bright the full moon can be on that day. So this is a symbolic of light coming into the world with the resurrection. So Easter time is really a celebration of new life and light coming into the world through Christ.